You ever notice how when the world's about to end, nobody bothers to give you a heads up? Yeah, that's the way it goes. Your old Uncle Patches was minding his own business, flipping through the channels that didn't belong to him, when suddenly, boom, giant robots, lasers everywhere, planets getting eaten like bar snacks, and a soundtrack that hits harder than a steel chair in a cage match. Now me, I've seen a lot of things in my time. Storms that talk, guys who think they're immortal, trucks that shouldn't be anything other than trucks. But this is something else. This is a story where heroes just don't ride off into the sunset. They burn out in a blaze of glory, chrome, and fire, with a guitar solo screaming in the background. And don't even get me started on that big bad Unicron. Planet-sized, bad attitude, eats worlds like popcorn. You think you've had a rough day? Try being on his menu. But that's the thing about legends, isn't it? Doesn't matter how big the enemy is or how loud the explosions get. Somebody's always got to stand up, take the hit, and say, not today. So sit back, keep your hands inside the ride, and maybe say a little goodbye to your childhood innocence, because this one hits different. This is what we saw on Stolen Cable, Death and Metal, the Transformers, the movie. And trust me, you're already in too deep. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. I am your host, Uncle Patches. I'm here with
Sinister Cinema.
And, of course, I roped...
Oh, Brant Bumpers. How you doing?
Brant Bumpers, the actor, the famous actor.
Yes. L. Bumper is still marching.
Of House of the Demon. And Sanitarium, by the way. But House of the Demon. I feel like House of the Demon is such a horrible movie. If you ever get a chance to see that movie, watch it with a bunch of your friends and make fun of it all you want to. But thank you for having me on here again. This is awesome.
We're actually doing a three-parter. We roped him in for the night, and we're loading up for the month of May to get everything. We started off with Beastmaster this month, I believe, and Beastmaster. Started off with Beastmaster, but Brant came in. We were doing Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
We bribed him with cake.
It worked.
Yeah,
well, yes.
we did.
Who doesn't fall for cake?
He's still here.
But this is, like I said before, this is Death and Metal, the Transformers, the movie from 1986. We're not talking the Shia LaBeouf.
No, we're talking about the real Transformers movie.
No Michael Bay here.
Although, there is a scene in the first Transformers movie that I absolutely love. And it's like, all right, so they're getting there, and Bumblebee pulls up. He just got through beating up one of the Decepticons, and they're all beat to hell. Shia LaBeouf putting his pants on and everything like that. And the car pulls up and the door opens, and he looks over at, what was the actress that was
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox. I don't know why I couldn't remember her name, but whenever I hit that record button, I forget everything.
So Shia just got done beating the hell out of himself.
Yeah, that's why he had to,
and putting his pants back on.
Putting his pants back on. No, I think he got caught into something and he had to take his pants off. But they get there, and Bumblebee pulls up and opens up the door, and she looks over at him and she goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, we're going, aren't we?" And she goes, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Well, look, he doesn't want to obviously hurt us."
You've already got your pants off.
Yeah. No, she says, it's like, what are you doing? He looks at her and said, "Look, at the end of your life, do you want to look back on it and say, I'm glad I got in the car? Or at least have the courage to get into the car?"
So, I'd be like, this car is freaking alive, and it's a robot. I think I've got some pretty good excitement and a good story already.
Well, I mean, how far can you take it? That's ultimately where it goes.
Yeah.
Although in like the fourth or fifth film, I can't remember. I watched them all because I'm a huge Transformers fan. Actually, I don't think I saw the last one. The one that ended it, they actually had a very good point. They were making the deals with the Decepticons. They were trying to banish the Autobots from the planet, and they get there and it's like, "Why are you doing this?" He goes, "Well, these are basically immortal beings that have been in an ageless war for centuries, for millennia. It's like, we don't want them on the planet because they already destroyed their own." I was like, this guy's a bad guy, but he makes so much sense as an adult. And you look back on this particular film, and that point is totally proven in it. Because, yes, you look at the Transformers. They come to the planet during the age of the dinosaurs. They wreck the planet. Everybody's offline. And then you bring them back in modern times. So they were here for hundreds of years. Millions of years, right?
Yeah.
And then they're contracting Cybertron after they're woken back up, and nothing has changed on Cybertron. The war is still raging after millions of years.
Yep.
You figure they would have come to a good conclusion or anything on it.
Or just eventually run out of people, or run out of robots.
This film, would everybody agree it was very traumatizing in your youth?
Oh yeah, I love this movie, and yes, it sent a lot of kids screaming and crying out of the theater.
Now you saw it at the movie theater. Sinister, did you see this at the movie theater?
No, I did not. I remember watching the Transformers. I kept up with the show pretty well. I remember watching the episodes that came out after the movie, and I was completely lost on what was going on because the series continued after the movie as if you watched the movie already.
Well, this movie takes place like 20 years after the TV series.
Yes.
It's the year 2025 or 2005. 2005. I had a similar experience, although I know exactly why I didn't see this at the movie theater. A, because my dad, absolutely refused to take us to go see cartoons at the movie theater like a boomer would.
Yes.
And B, I was grounded that summer that it came out because I had failed so bad in school. My wife thinks I have undiagnosed ADHD, and that's probably why. But I failed so bad, and I think I was barely into the next grade. So I was grounded all summer, and I was supposed to be reading books and everything. Like, I had the similar experience. I watched the TV series, and then all of a sudden everything was changed. Anybody that knew anything about it when saw it at the movie theater, they were all like, oh, yeah, so-and-so, everybody dies. Everybody dies. And I didn't believe it until they actually started showing it on cable.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, your favorite characters, let's see here, Autobot Deaths, Optimus Prime, Ironhide, Prowl, Ratchet, Brawn, Windcharger, and Wheeljack all meet their end in this. And as I remember...
characters that they had you become attached.
Oh, yeah, these were beloved characters on it. Now, I have got props for a change here.
Yes, he does.
Look at them.
I know you can't see them, but these are actually reproductions of what the characters would have been in this movie. I've got Ironhide and Prowl. They're actual death scenes from the movie in actual toy form here in front of us.
Yeah.
Prowl has got that death stare on him that he had where his eyes burned out and he had smoke coming out of his mouth after he was shot.
And Coronation Starscream. I mean, the true leader of the Decepticons.
Yes, because he's got the crown and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And the whole thing is that crown he wore it for all of 3 seconds before he got taken out immediately, and his crown got just crushed like tissue paper. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you look at Galvatron's head, he's got a crown just like it, but it's just part of him.
It's just part of his head
on there, and it's the exact same crown.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember the toy. The toy was Galvatron was like a light gray with like a dark purple face, and then in the movie he's got a dark purple head with a like a gray face, and I was like, why didn't they make the toy look like that? Why they do the exact opposite on the toy? But I remember the toy was just kind of like his head was the gun. It just kind of came out of his head.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, man, I liked it better when it's on his arm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was the bad part about the Transformers from back in the day. You had the really cool depictions. Ironhide here is the most accurate depiction I've seen from Ironhide of the film.
Yes.
From the TV show.
Yes.
Because he actually has his head. Whereas the original Ironhide in the toy line did not have a head at all. It was just a windshield that you were supposed to...
Yeah, it was a windshield with like a little plastic tab that had like a sticker of a face on it. And it was like you barely even saw it. He looked like a car crash. He looked more like a car crash than he did a robot. And then in the show, he always looked cool, And then he had even a little mohawk. And so this toy is seeing him look more like what he did in the cartoon. Chef's kiss.
I mean, the other Transformers they did a pretty good job with, though. Particularly the bigger ones like Optimus Prime and Megatron, Soundwave. Starscream.
I had Optimus Prime
actually transform accurately. I think they did a really good job with those. But then some I guess the lesser ones had kind of pretty bad transformations in the toy form.
Which Transformers did you guys have? I had Optimus Prime. My brother had Soundwave, and I think Laserbeak.
I had Soundwave, Laserbeak, Optimus Prime. I had Wheeljack. I had Jazz, Trailbreaker, Brawn, Gears. I had Ramjet, Cyclonus. I had a few others that I can't remember at this moment, but I had a bunch of. I can't complain. I was not at a loss for having Transformers.
What about you, Sinister?
I had Optimus Prime, Megatron, Prowl, a few others. I don't think I didn't have Starscream. I had one of the like lieutenants of his. I can't remember his name right offhand. I had a few other random. I had the Dinobots. That was really cool. And I had the Constructicons that formed into Devastator.
And you had what really everybody wanted. You had Devastator.
Yeah, Devastator was awesome. That was.
I always knew a kid that had most of them, except for the essential parts that make out full Devastator. So they like he's missing an arm or a leg or.
That was actually probably the best part of the little collection that I had was I actually was able to get all of the Constructicons. It was really cool.
That was awesome. The film starts off Unicron eating a planet, so that immediately tells you the stakes of the film. And of course, we're seeing this. We're like what 7 or 8 years old, 9 or 10 years old, or something like that. Yeah. I guess I would have been 10 years old. You guys would have been about 8 or 9, right? So we love the characters in the show. Ironhide was a staple of the show. He was like the enforcer for the main lieutenant for Optimus Prime.
Yep.
Prowl was in there quite a bit.
Yeah.
And they immediately kill him off in the most brutal fashion.
Yep.
With heavy metal music playing in the background.
The music,
Instruments of Destruction by NRG was playing in the background.
Yeah. Now,
NRG, get it?
So the film is a giant advertisement.
It is
for toys.
Yeah. It is.
Although I do believe that the writers on it were a lot more invested in the characters than the corporate guys, because the corporate guys wanted a bloodbath. They wanted all kinds. They wanted to do a complete reboot of the series. They didn't want to have any of the other original characters, and there was a lot of back and forth between the execs.
I don't think that the executives really understood how attached the kids had become to the characters and how much that actually mattered to the kids that were the fans of the show. They just wanted to sell toys. And so they were like, well, just throw out a bunch of new figures at them and they'll buy more. And it's like, yeah, well, that's cool and everything. It's all well and good. And obviously that's what you want to do for in a business sense. But at the same time, you're killing off characters that these kids love and they grew attached to. And they, some of them they actually look up to, like Optimus Prime. And you're gonna just kill him? Why? Because you want to sell them new action figures?
Well, as I remember, Ironhide and Ratchet both went out in a blaze of glory. So did Prowl. Prowl, I think he got the worst death of the entire film. I mean, everybody complains about Optimus Prime dying, but Prowl, you literally see the light go out of his eyes with smoke coming out of his mouth. That was like the most brutal death of the entire film. Yeah. And this is a film that has a planet eating other planets.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to see, like, you start off with you see like a whole robot society with little robot kids, which I was like, oh, I guess that's how it works. Instead of just being created, they were actually birthed and they grow. But okay. Unicron comes and like, it's Unicron, and then you see that one guy get pulled back into Unicron and like screaming to death, and I was like, oh man, this, and then like Unicron's whole infrastructure lights up, and I'm like, oh man, this movie's gonna go hard.
And then go nuts. Then they start in with the Transformers scene, which is a hard metal version of the original Transformers scene from the thing.
Yes.
I think that was done by Lion.
It was done by Lion.
I got a whole list of the soundtrack on here.
The soundtrack is it's a banger. It is just
Stan Bush, Vince DiCola, and Lion and NRG.
So that's the title of the series, Death and Metal. So we learned about death and we learned about metal in this, and I can almost point to this as being every metalhead's first experience to metal.
Oh yeah, Stan Bush, that guy was the '80s movie music icon.
Yeah,
I mean, he did so many iconic songs from movies in the '80s that were just the song from the soundtrack.
Absolutely.
So Stan Bush's contribution to this one are the Touch, which was actually spoofed by Mark
in
Mark
Boogie
Wahlberg
Nights.
and Boogie Nights,
Yep.
which pretty much ruined the song for me.
Oh yes, yes, because like they recorded his audio intentionally way too hot, and he could not carry the tune in a bucket, and and then you get to watch John C. Reilly and him on a coke binge going on about how like, oh man, it's going to be great, man, this is going to be huge, and I was like, they're singing the Touch from Transformers the movie and they're ruining it, and I was like, I can't believe P.T. Anderson would do this to me.
Yeah, it's terrible. So my go-to now is Dare, which is the other one that was really big on this one.
Yes,
The Touch and Dare, such good songs.
You can win if you dare.
We got Spectre General doing Nothing's Gonna Stand in Our Way.
And
Hunger, yeah. Lion did the main Transformers theme.
And Dare to Be Stupid by
Weird Al.
Yankovic.
Well, if you're gonna do a film in the '80s, I think this is the only one that had Weird Al on their soundtrack, which is a giant waste.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not that he was on the soundtrack. The fact that
he
nobody.
wasn't on more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like if the movie Legend should have had Weird Al on the soundtrack.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
it's that kind of thing where you're like, no, it was also just perfect. It was like the perfect song for the perfect character's introduction, the perfect everything.
Well, this is an original by Weird Al, which was odd back in the day.
Yeah.
Because he was most famous for the spoofs.
Well,
like,
that's what he's most famous for anyway. But yeah, he does have a lot of original songs, and most of his original songs are at least spoofs of a style or a genre. This was actually a spoof of Devo, which had that so it's very similar style. If you actually read the lyrics of the song and everything, it is a song that Devo would have done eventually.
Yeah.
If he hadn't done it first.
Yeah.
And the lead of Devo, Mark Mothersbaugh, actually said that, kind of jokingly says that he was irritated by Weird Al for so effectively copying his sound.
Yeah, like it's like you got me. You got me good.
It was a sound that he had spent years developing, and he was able to just copy it like it was nothing.
Exactly.
And not only that, but also copy the message that the whole band was based on.
Yeah,
it was de-evolution.
Exactly. The whole band was based on just the whole anthropic.
Yeah,
just
that mankind is evolved to its peak, and now it's the only way is down.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah.
So
We're catching the declination now, and and Weird Al's Dare to Be Stupid caught a lot of that. And the thing is like, as a kid, having NRGs like bam, 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 and then like all of a sudden your heroes are getting wasted. And it was just kind of like, it's almost like you're playing with your toys, and all of a sudden your older brother that's into metal comes in and starts stomping on your toys. It was the equivalent of that in a movie.
That's a great analogy.
Yes.
It's awesome because it embodies the movie perfectly because that's exactly what they did. They have this like awesome music. And at the same time, they're smashing all your favorite toys.
Yes, absolutely. But then you leave the theater going, I want to listen to more of that.
Yeah, definitely.
So we also got to bring up Vince DiCola. He was the one that did the intermediate music, the background sound.
Like the fight, like when they're doing the fight between the Decepticons and Autobots. And
the bam. Yeah. So the whole synth track on it was done by Vince DiCola. So he was a major player for doing setting the mood and stuff like that when they weren't doing the heavy metal stuff.
Yeah.
His most notable work was that he did the soundtrack for Rocky IV.
That's right, he did. Hearts on fire, zombie. He did actually kind of help make some of our youth, of our childhood with these movies.
Yeah,
and you just didn't. Yeah, it's that kind of thing where it's like they're kind of unsung in that way, which is fitting because like a lot of it was just instrumentals, but like unsung heroes of just making movies what they are. You don't really think of how much music does the heavy lifting on these moments in these movies until you just kind of go back and revisit them and say, you know what? If this didn't have that in the background, and that if that wasn't hitting your ears while these are hitting your eyes,
definitely.
It wouldn't.
Especially on this movie, the soundtrack does it is the movie. It's you don't. It wouldn't have been the same movie without this soundtrack.
Well, I was watching G.I. Joe the movie today, actually. and it has some of the synthwave in it, and it's some of the same keynotes in it. So they borrowed music from that because it was the same production company that did the two, and it was it was an animated Marvel production.
Yes,
for Hasbro.
Yes,
but no, they went back to the regular soundtrack for the TV show for the majority of it, and it just doesn't hit the same way. This is an epic film. I think this film came out 20 years too early.
Yes,
I don't think the audience was ready for it because we were too young.
Yep,
but. And I think that's what turned a lot of people off the Transformers, and a lot of people didn't talk about Transformers. Well, I mean, you grow up to a certain point, you don't talk about the toys you used to play with. But I remember when I was in school, you get a chance to talk about the Transformers all the way up through high school. I was talking about it.
Yeah.
Yep, me too. And matter of fact, everyone that saw the movie, it was the coolest. It was like the initial realization of what you're actually watching, like, because the opening scene is Unicron flying through, and then it does that thing where he's passing by the camera or the viewer, and you see like a quick flash of everything that makes up Unicron, and then he flies off, and then like he destroys the planet, and then just then you're like, you kind of knew at that moment, because like everything was dark, everything was gritty, everything had shadowing. And everything had a finite, like okay, I just killed these things. They're not coming back. And you're like, oh, crap, I'm about to watch a completely different movie than I saw on TV.
Yes.
And, like, you felt that. So when you saw the Transformers, like the ones that you saw every day growing up, you kind of felt a sense of comfort, like, oh, cool, now we're seeing them. And then, of course, it's that whole, like, Megatron just intercepted the signal, so they know that these guys, Ironhide and Prowl and them are coming back from, some Cybertron, they're going to intercept him. And I'm like, okay, well, they always do stuff like this. So you don't think anything of it. And then Megatron does a backflip into Starscream's hand, which was, first of all, cool as anything. And it's just do. And I'm like, and then also you hear kids, and you hear parents like, oh my God. And then in your mind, you're like, he's going to get up, right? Because they always get up. And nope. Instead, you have Ironhide, no, on the ground, and then he's right under Megatron's gun. It just pans up to Megatron smiling down, and then ba-doom, blows it. You see Ironhide to fly to pieces. I'm like, oh man, they're really doing this.
All right, so I got a theory about that. They came to Earth looking for Energon.
They did.
And then they were here for 20 years.
They were.
Collecting Energon. So I think when they got to the planet, the reason why they shook off most of the shots and stuff like that is because they weren't powered up like they should have been. And they said that we finally got enough Energon. We need to take back Cybertron. That's how the Transformers story started. But they needed to go back to the planet, go back to Earth to pick up the remaining, so they had enough to carry on the battle. So everybody's juiced up in this, and that's why all the shots count in this.
Yep.
That's why they're all dropping like flies. It's because this is what they were supposed to be like for the last millennia.
It's a good theory. Yes.
And I think that's a great theory, because it also goes into like, okay, it used to be that they could never hit each other for anything, but when they did, because every once in a while you saw like where they're running off and they're carrying one of them, and it's like, okay, so they do get injured, but it's that thing where like, they just get injured and they quickly get repaired and they're back in the game. But like the idea that no, this time they're actually lethal is actually a good, like, oh wow, that's a good point.
You have the part where everybody says, well, like, why couldn't they repair the characters? And I can tell you exactly why. Because the characters that they took out Wheeljack and they took out Ratchet were the two medics for the Autobots.
Yes.
So with those two characters gone, they had no competent medics to repair the other Autobots.
Exactly.
Yes. That's another thing. Robots is kind of a misnomer. They are actual living beings. They're just made out of metal.
We pretty much determined that in this film, because we do have the first female Transformer show up.
We do.
Yeah.
And no one hits on her, which is just showing you that they're progressive.
What? No. What's his name? Hot Rod hit on her. Was hitting on her, and so was what was that Transformer one?
Astro Train? No, that's the Decepticon.
Decepticon.
The helicopter guy. The helicopter guy.
If I were made of metal and I wasn't a kid at the time, I probably would hit him.
Yeah. Ariel's got it going on. I'm even looking at the toy, and Ariel, like, was like, okay, you know what? Let's do this.
It's actually RC.
RC. There we go.
You're thinking of Little Mermaid.
There is a Transformer named Ariel. I just can't remember which one I kept thinking of that, but no, RC is absolutely correct. Thanks you.
Mm-hmm.
RC. Like the Royal Crown Cola.
All right, well, let's move into the cast on this, which is epic. Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime, and he even played Optimus Prime in the movie.
Yes.
That is Optimus Prime's voice. There's no one else could do that voice.
No.
They tried to kept recasting him in some of the other iterations, and it's just not the same.
Yeah.
And he also is the voice of the Predator monster.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen that bit. He does the gurgling and stuff for him.
Yeah, that growling, gurgling thing.
So we got Judd Nelson, who was famous at the time for The Breakfast Club.
Yes.
He played Bender Bending Rodriguez. No, it's just Bender. Bender Bending Rodriguez is from Futurama.
Bender Bending Rodriguez is so awesome.
We've got Robert Stack as Ultra Magnus.
Yes,
Robert
the
Stack.
old host of Unsolved Mysteries is Robert Stack.
Yeah, if you ever wanted to be scared just before bedtime, this guy would come on the TV and tell you about all the horrible things they hadn't solved yet.
Yeah. He's still at large out there. He could be where you are right now.
All right,
99.
so we had Casey Kasem as Cliff Jumper and Teletran.
Yes.
And Casey Kasem, very famous for doing the top 40 hits. And
this is Casey Kasem, and I'm doing the top 40 hits.
Yeah.
Yes.
And once you hear his voice, you know exactly who it is.
And Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, yes.
Let's see. Neil Ross as Springer. Let's see. Scatman Crothers as Jazz.
Yes.
That's right.
Scatman Crothers.
Where you want us to go, Prime? we're trying to get the Decepticons, Prime. I love Scatman Crothers.
He had the most epic voice. He was an awesome singer.
He was.
He did jazz, right? He actually sang jazz.
He actually did jazz, and he also he did a lot of voice work. He was Dick Halloran in The Shining.
Yes.
He was the caretaker that left notes and everything like that, and wound up dying. One coming up trying to help him.
Yeah, he was just trying to help. He got there just in time to die. Yeah, he was the snowcat delivery. That was his function in the movie. Was he died right away, but at least they got a snowcat to drive away.
Yeah, he told Danny about The Shining.
Yes,
and then he dies.
That's exactly it. They called it Shine.
He was in everything back in the day as well, and I can't remember what else he was in.
Hong Kong Phooey.
Yes, he was the voice of Hong Kong Phooey.
He was Hong Kong Phooey. He was in Ralph Bakshi Street Fight. It's also named something else that sounds a lot more racist because the movie's very racist intentionally, but it's almost like a Peter Rabbit taking place in Harlem. Very adult film. Scatman Crothers plays basically 3 different characters. Like he does the voice of 2, and he plays this one character in live action. With Phil Michael Thomas from Miami Vice, but Scatman Crothers, and he sings the song, the kind of the title song, which I can't sing on here because it's very racially charged.
All right, so we've got Blur, played by John Machetta Jr. Now we know him. The newer generations are not going to know this guy, but he is the voice of the Micro Machines. He would do these We had like little. They're like little Hot Wheels. They called them Micro Machines.
So those ads were great.
Yes, they were disproportionately small, cartoonish-looking little cars, and for some reason they got popular. They got real popular
because of him.
Well, it was because of him. It was the ads with him just speaking.
Well, his whole shtick was he was the fastest talker in the world.
Yes,
and I think he had a Guinness Book of World Records title for that.
Yes.
Yeah, he would just talk really fast. So they got him to play the character on Speed, Blur, here in the Transformers. And all he does is run around talking really fast, which is very fitting.
Very fitting.
For the Decepticons, we got Frank Welker as Megatron and Soundwave. So he was a staple from the show.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that is the voice of Megatron and Soundwave. No one else can do that voice.
Soundwave and Megatron being the same person was so great because, like, you had the overly emotive Megatron, Autobots, like everything sounds like he's throwing a tantrum, and then he has Soundwave that even if he's dying, he just sounds calm. Oh no, the plane's gonna crash. That sounds cool.
Chris Loretto played Starscream, and he was the one that played Cobra Commander.
That's right.
Yes.
Same voice, just same cadences.
All right, we have on the special note for Galvatron, they got Leonard Nimoy, which
sure
everybody knows him as Spock from Star Trek.
Absolutely.
And nobody knows him from, what was the one we were talking about earlier you wanted to do? It was Invasion of the Body Snatchers with
Donald Sutherland.
Donald Sutherland.
With Jeff Goldblum, him. And it's funny because he was playing so many roles to try to walk away from that Spock role, to try to walk away from the Spock character. And he even hosted a show called Standby Lights, Camera Action, where it's just like behind the scenes of different movies. And it was on Nickelodeon. I remember they were doing that. And then he was like at one point like going to vow that he wasn't going to do Spock anymore because he got kind of tired of being typecast as that. And then sure enough, later on, it was just like things were kind of drying up and they were offering a lot of money. He's Spock again.
Star Trek 2 is by far the best Star Trek film that they ever made.
Yep.
I guess we're going to have to do a whole episode on that one because I got a bunch of knowledge on that one.
Absolutely.
Just sitting in my back pocket. But we'll move on. Let's see. We got Chris Latta as Starscream, Michael Bell as Scrapper and Bombshell. Let's see. Cyclonus was Roger C. Carmel. Not familiar. Scourge was played by Leonard Nimoy as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here's
the special ones right
yeah,
here.
so we're all looking at our cheat sheet here that I've got worked up. Unicron, played by Orson Welles. This is his last role.
His final role.
Now, Orson Welles, I don't know if the younger generation would know this, but he was most famous for
Citizen Kane.
And War of the Worlds.
Yes.
So, Citizen Kane, Rosebud, just look it up. That's one of the most iconic films that he has ever been in.
Yep.
But War of the Worlds was originally done as a radio show, but people didn't understand that it was a radio show. So he was doing the broadcast as if he was reading off news reports and stuff that was going on.
Yeah, that was the thing about that. And I've heard that supposedly them claiming that people didn't understand that it was a radio show and thought it was actual news broadcast was a little exaggerated.
But there were some hicks out there that got their bell rung. Oh my God, Martha, I knew it was coming. Yeah,
it was exaggerated, but it was mainly just to kind of put a bad spin on radio. The print companies were worried that radio was going to put newspapers out of business.
So it was a whole publicity stunt about the mass hysteria and everything for it.
Yeah. So it was over-exaggerated that there was mass hysteria about it.
My dad was totally sold on it.
Yeah.
From, day one. He told me about it. He was like, oh, yeah, people were freaking out, calling the cops and everything like that. It's like, oh, what's going on? But Orson Welles is an iconic voice, an iconic actor.
Yes, absolutely.
He would be on the caliber of Marlon Brando at the end of his career, Robert De Niro. It's ridiculous that he's in this film.
yeah, that's for sure.
And he's all in on it too. He totally sells his part on this. His performance is creepy. Let's see who else we got here. Eric Idle as Retgar.
Yes, Monty Python alum. Very, he also has a very unique voice. Whenever you hear his voice, you know it's him.
And then on the last one on the list here, I got Susan Blue as RC. I don't recognize her name or anything else that she would have been in.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
She played her part. She did a good job.
Yeah.
The first female Transformer portrayed. This film was directed by Nelson Shin. Not familiar with that. I do know this was animated in Japan. So this is technically an anime.
Yeah, you can tell that in some of the more major parts of the movie, the animation and the everything is just far beyond whatever was in the actual TV show. The animation just looks awesome. I mean, there are some parts in the movie where the animation wasn't as important, and so it didn't really look that great. But the really good scenes, the really with a lot of action and everything like that, the animation was just great. It was top notch.
Well, from what I understand, this was production hell because they kept on changing the script. They wanted more violence and stuff with it, and they had to relay all the information to Japan for the animation on it. And then there was a lot of notes back where how are these guys supposed to be transforming, because they wanted to be accurate to the toy line, and they didn't have toys yet.
Yeah.
So they had to work a lot of things out here and there. The film had a budget of $6 million, only made $5.86 million. So it's not a huge loss, but a couple of $100,000 it lost to a movie studio. is big.
So supposedly for a movie to really make money or to be considered successful, it has to make about 2.5 to 3 times as much as what it costs to make it to even be considered to be somewhat successful.
Yeah.
So anything that's near the amount that they spent or less is considered a flop.
We're coming out of like every toy line was either a cartoon. Every cartoon became a toy line and every toy line became a cartoon. It was just that time in the 80s, like where everything was a commercial for something. Like every piece of entertainment was a commercial for something. And we all gladly got on board with it. And this whole movie, the whole endeavor was intended to be a shift in like a shift to a new toy line and a way to get everybody on board in one fell swoop. Mm-hmm. And it did work because people went out and bought the new toys. That whole worked, but it worked for Hasbro more than it worked for this DEG.
Marvel Animated Studios is what it was at the time, I think.
The studio has a hard time, especially around then, because they made the Care Bears movie. It didn't make its money back. G.I. Joe the movie was basically
Well, this movie spooked them.
Yeah.
So they got scared and they watered down the plot on that one. Because they were supposed to have a major death in it, and they didn't go with. They didn't go through with it.
Exactly.
The G.I. Joe movie didn't actually have a theatrical.
No, it didn't. Right? It went straight to video.
Straight to video, or TV in a way.
Yeah, they broadcast it first in like a multi-part, like they did the original ones. Although the first G.I. Joe series was would have been made an awesome movie. What was it? It wasn't the Weather Dominator.
Yeah, that was the first episode, as I remember.
Yeah, it was like a 4-parter though, right?
Yeah, I think so.
4 or 5-parter. It wrote me in, man. I love I love G.I. Joe. Back in the day, it came out before Transformers, as I remember.
It did.
Now, since I'm half Canadian, my mom's family lived in St. John's, Newfoundland.
Okay.
And when Christmas came around, they would send us toys from Canada. Cool. When it came to G.I. Joes and stuff like that, they would send us characters and stuff like that. And instead of having the American flag on everything, they had the Canadian flag on it. So when I went and played with my buddies, I always knew which ones were mine. And my guys got to be Special Forces because they had different emblems.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm trying to picture like the whole cadence being different out there. Hey, G.I. Joe, the real Canadian hero, eh? Hey, Maple all the way, yo Joe. Like it just being very Canadian about it, but like.
Which I'm surprised they didn't have a Mountie character in G.I. Joe because they had stereotypes of everybody in it.
The closest they got was Sergeant Slaughter. He had the hat, but that's about it.
Well, that was a General Marine Corps training.
That's a
cover,
more
right?
of a drill instructor covers than a
that's the closest.
Mountie one.
No, he's not a Mountie, but I said that's the closest they got because he had the hat. That's about it. Or that, or the Crimson Guard because they had the red uniforms. But speaking of which, when they put Sergeant Slaughter in there, it's like, okay, Sergeant Slaughter's buff in the cartoon. He is definitely not in real life. He is like the dad bod wrestler, but like
he was back in his younger days.
Well, I'm like before he was ever on G.I. Joe, maybe. I remember they kept showing him like the little bumper intros. This is Sergeant Slaughter. Are you feeling one of Sergeant Slaughter's Marauders? And then like he's all like, just kind of like he's shaped like me, like Sergeant Slaughter. And then in the cartoon he's all buff, and I'm like, yeah, that's the joy of cartoons. If I was in a cartoon, I'd be buff. Yeah,
hey,
I would make sure of it.
Yeah, it would be a requirement before you even signed on.
Yeah, absolutely. That, and also no shirt, or at least one where it shows my midriff a lot.
All right, so we had some Decepticons the Decepticons didn't die in this one. They got reformatted.
They did. They got the easy way out.
Which I think, really the direction they should have gone with all the characters. If thinking back on it and thinking about how traumatic it was for a lot of.
It seems like it was an afterthought. It's like, why don't you just have Unicron make them into somebody else? Oh man, that's a good idea. And then why didn't we think of that sooner? It's like, I don't know. You get a raise, but yeah, we should have thought about that sooner.
All right. I think there was only one Decepticon that died, and that was Starscream. And he had by far the most, other than Prowl, he had the most brutal death in the film.
He really did.
Oh, yeah.
They were doing the coronation. As much of a weasel as Starscream was in it, he always came out on top off screen.
Yes, he did.
So they always showed him as a buffoon, but I I think they perfectly left out how much of a badass he was.
Yeah.
Because he was always there, Megatron's right hand.
Yep.
I mean, he may have been messing up on screen, but he had to get there somehow.
Yep.
And he had his own battalion.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also, I'm sorry, they were the coolest looking Transformers because as a robot, the way they just looked and whether all right, they just look cool. I'm sorry, they just look cool. If I had to be a Transformer, I'd want to be one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just looks amazing. And like squealy yelling voice aside, he was awesome. And when he dropped Megatron out of Astro Train, when he's like, it just pains me to do this, I still function. And then like he just drops him. The door closes. As the door closes, Starscream basically turns into a black silhouette with red glowing eyes. Then you hear Starscream, and I was like, oh, that looks really cool. And sure enough, I was like, oh, okay, they made up for it by giving him the biggest, like, beta cuck finish. I'm in charge here. It's like you can't even enjoy it for 5 seconds before it.
Well, I mean, there was a whole battle on Astro Train.
Yeah.
And Devastator was in the middle of that, and he was a combiner.
Yeah.
Which was the largest Transformer other than Autobot City at that point.
And all it took was Rumble hitting Astro Train's guts to make him fall apart.
Yeah.
And I was like,
so
oh, no.
after all that chaos, he came out on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you never get to see how much of a badass he is.
You're right, because it all happened like we're going to settle this, and I'm like, that got interesting. Let's nope, they're just going to show Astro Train wobbly flying off while people are fighting inside him, and I'm like, yeah, I would love to have seen how Starscream came out on top.
Yeah, he came out so strong. They had a coronation for him with trumpets. And he's got a crown.
The Constructicons are the ones doing the trumpet, so basically Devastator's doing it. Yes.
Yeah.
And then he gets absolutely incinerated.
Absolutely.
So they have there's a bunch of statues there in the background in his coronation, and those are previous leaders of Decepticons. Glowing thing at the bottom of their statues are their spark.
Yeah, see, that's deep cut stuff, man. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So I think that they're not even statues; those are their actual bodies, just disembodied from their spark,
like Lennon,
just
like on tour, like just propped up there.
That's how leadership in the Decepticons is passed down. Is that each one is betrayed by their. So Starscream betraying Megatron and taking the leadership from him was on par with how the Decepticons work.
It's actually, I didn't know that. That's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
it is awesome. It's very much like Jedi and Apprentice, or the Sith and their Apprentice, because that's the same thing. They're like, okay, they basically train their replacement, and their replacement eventually gets so powerful they take them out.
Let's go into Hot Rod.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do the controversy of Hot Rod.
Yeah, and Ultra Magnus, the big fraud.
The big fraud.
He took the Matrix of leadership and didn't do with it. I'm sorry. He didn't do nothing with it.
I think we can say shit because they actually said shit in the film.
That's right.
And that's what got like half the audience taken out of there by the ear.
I don't know.
Yes.
You can say it quite that many times, though. I mean,
open, damn it, open. And then they try to blow up Unicron and didn't do anything. And then he says, it didn't do anything. Like, did he make a dent? Yeah.
All right, so there is another controversy with this. Hot Rod, basically the Luke Skywalker of the story.
Basically.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that he got Optimus Prime killed. I think everybody else got Optimus Prime killed.
Oh, yeah.
Because what's happening? He's having a battle to the death, and they're all like, oh, let him cook. And I'm like, no, you get over there and you help your guy.
Yeah.
And Rodimus was the only one willing to go over there and help out. If everybody else had jumped Megatron, they could have just rolled him right out of life.
Exactly. Cap was like, that's between them. And I'm like, I thought you're an Autobot. That's a deception. That whole, like, no, this is his fight.
If you watch the actual cartoon series, every single one of the Autobots is completely incompetent except for Optimus Prime. It's like all of them are they're like little kids just running around with these massive weapons and trying to play like they actually know what they're doing, and they don't.
Well, they were supposed to be the workers of the planet who revolted against the oppression.
That is true. That's one of the things about, Optimus Prime was different because he was actually 2 or 3 times the size of every other Autobot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had the MacGuffin, which we
Yeah.
didn't see until this film,
Yeah.
which was the Autobot Matrix of Leadership.
The Matrix of Leadership. Yeah.
Which have you seen the toy lines that actually have that?
Yes, I've got one. I've got a Optimus Prime that's a very like intricate Optimus Prime, and he has the Matrix leadership that you can take out and you can actually pull open.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. But it actually changes them physically as well.
Yes, because when Rodimus gets it at the end of the film, he doubles its size.
Yeah. So
There's a whole sub arc to the mythos that you don't actually get to find out about. I mean, they kind of add stuff here and there throughout the years to kind of explain it, but they're obviously living creatures because they grow.
yeah.
You've got small Autobots, and it's obvious that they grow into larger Autobots a little bit later on down the line. And they've got Autobots that are Transformers that are actually city size. And that's where you run into Metroplex and
Omega Supreme.
Omega Supreme.
Yeah.
And Fortress Maximus.
And those are considered in later ones to be the older and the wiser of the species.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole lore there that they never had a chance to explore properly with Gen 1, which, well, I don't think it would have gone completely over our heads as kids. You know, we got Rodimus Prime in here. He starts off as a hothead.
Mm-hmm.
His heart's in it. He was the first one to notice that the Decepticons were coming to attack. You had Robert Stack's character, Cup.
No, Ultra Magnus was Robert Stack's character.
Oh, Ultra Magnus.
No, but Cup was the like old man. Like he's kind of like Fraser Crane's dad as a Transformer.
Yes.
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 That's absolutely correct.
Yeah. And so like it's like but like and you knew Hot Rod was a hothead because Cup would talk to him like, you little whippersnapper, you're gonna get us all killed. You don't know what you're doing. Step back. And it's like I was like, well, I thought he was trying to be heroic, but like, nah, you're a little punk. You know, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, my favorite part about him is he's telling old war stories throughout the entire thing.
Yes.
Oh, this reminds me of this, and this is right. And they come down to the end of the scene where they see transformed Unicron taking chunks of Cybertron out and shoving it down his throat. It's like, all right, well, what does this remind you of? He goes, I've never seen anything like this before.
Exactly.
That's when you know you're in real trouble.
Like,
Exactly. Even the
we're
Sharkticons,
screwed.
like this reminds me of the piranhas on Stitch's, on that's 4 or whatever. And then like sure enough, he's like, what does this remind you of? I've never seen this before. It's like, oh, okay. The old man, the old wise man of the group.
We're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's down on Hot Rod because they don't think he's worthy to be the new leader of the Autobots. They said a lot of the fan base says that he was just kind of thrown into the part and everything.
Even though the whole thing, he was already being set up for it in the movie. The Matrix is being handed off to Ultra Magnus, and he friggin' totally fumbles it, drops it on the ground, and Hot Rod goes and picks it up and hands it to him.
Oh, and it lights up the entire room when he touches it. It's like, oh, this is the chosen one.
So it's like Ultra Magnus just from the very beginning just completely fumbled it, and
that's why it wouldn't open for him.
Yeah,
that's why it wouldn't open for him. Like it was funny because he gets prepared. Like the whole he gets prepared. That whole thing with he's the only Autobot that tried to jump in and actually help Prime when he thought he was like when he could see something everybody else didn't. And the only reason why, people are like, oh, he ruined it because he could have...
He got in the way.
He got in the way. And I said, yeah, but here's the thing. At the same time, Prime didn't know that Megatron was reaching for a gun and getting ready to shoot him.
Yeah.
I was like, that it still would have come to the same conclusion. And all it did was just kind of prolong the inevitable. But like I said, at least Hot Rod tried.
His heart was in it.
He was.
Everybody was like, oh, just, let him cook. And I'm like, no, you help your buddies.
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
We're not here to watch a boxing match. We're trying to stop. There's the real world out here, But like he's like, don't take away his thunder, kid. And then like, sure enough, oh God, don't take away his mojo, there, Snapper.
Kind of seems a little out of character for Optimus to not realize that Megatron is trying to deceive him. I mean, come on, he's been fighting this guy for years.
Millennia.
Yeah. He doesn't realize that he's lying to him, like he's playing him.
I'll say this about like Hot Rod and Cup and them. They just kind of already are there, and no one really says how they got there or, explain it. They're just kind of there. Call it like the Waltons, where it's like, hey, it's the Waltons movie, and then there's like about 17 other relatives there, and they're not explaining how they got there, where they came from, how long they've been there. It's just like, oh, they're just kind of here. Yes,
well, there was an assumption that there would be more characters in it because this does take place 20 years in the future.
Yeah, they usually throw exposition of like, it took you long enough to finally, find us or whatever. It's like, hey, we had a war to fight, or we had things going on, that kind of thing. And like, but like, it was just kind of like they're already there. And here's the thing: I never questioned it ever, not ever. The reason why I even questioned it later on is because someone said, well, where were they before when they were fighting, Decepticons? I was like, they're out in space. Were they in space? I don't know. I don't know.
They were on Cybertron, probably on a different part of the planet, fighting a good fight.
Yeah,
probably. And then they were just finally like, yeah, screw this. Let's go to Earth.
All right, they could have been created on Cybertron in the time period that they were on Earth, because they were on Earth for like millions of years.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's right. I remember when I first saw the Transformers episode where it showed them before they ever got to Earth. They were on Cybertron, and when they transformed into vehicles that did not look like what you expect.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, that's weird. Because they're straight up, like, he's straight up a truck. He's straight up a truck, and, like, he transforms into something else. And then, like, Prowl is straight up a car, but he transforms into something. And then, it shows, like, when they crash or whatever, and the thing comes over, and it starts scanning other Earth cars or Earth things for them to turn into.
Yeah,
and I was like, well, it just so happens that this right here looks just like you. And I'm like, yeah, good find. Even the same color and everything.
Well, it was the appropriate mass, right?
Yes, it was. Or was it us? I remember Red Alert, who was basically Sideswipe repainted, the Lamborghini.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the one time, I think it was, I forgot who it was, but he went over like to go pick up, they thought they saw Red, it was just another car. He's like holding it, he's like, what's wrong, Red? Can't you transform? And then like this fire marshal, put my car down! And I was like, what fire marshal gets to drive a Lamborghini?
Well, that's probably another reason why they did the updated characters in the future, because I think there was some licensing issues with all the cars. Because the original Transformers, you had...
Yeah, like Jazz was a Porsche.
Wheeljack was a Lamborghini.
Uh-huh.
You had Optimus Prime, which is a Peterbilt truck, I believe.
Yes.
All the characters were...
Hound was a Jeep, yeah.
Yeah, Bumblebee was a Volkswagen Bug.
Beetle, yeah.
So...
then he becomes Goldbug. Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of dumb. But
so that's a step sideways. But yeah.
In the future, they can have different future-looking cars, and they can transform. But I remember they went from die-cast metal to plastic.
Yes.
When they did the update, and that was kind of a letdown.
It was.
Big time.
Those Transformers, like, transforming them, like, holding them, they felt solid. They felt really premium. They felt premium and nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, they straight up were just like, oh, okay, almost everything's plastic. I remember Cup. I had Cup, and Cup was actually part die-cast metal on the feet and on the front, but like most of the other ones were just plastic. And then, like, moving on, they started becoming just plastic, and I was like, I wish they were still metal.
That's toys back in the day used to be. I mean, like the old Tonka toys were all made out of metal. And
they were.
That was like actually one of the things that they were known for, was that they were toys that would last, and they were toys that little boys could play with and for years.
Yeah,
and it would stand the abuse that they would be put through.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a while, everything started getting made out of plastic. You can play with it for a few weeks, and then you got to buy new ones.
Well, I've got examples of Prowl, Ironhide, Starscream as the leader of the Decepticons, the 5-second role he had there, and RC here in front of us. And these are all modern toys that look like the actual characters that I absolutely had to get because they were on clearance. So I might as well go broke saving money.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I applaud you. I don't care as an adult or kid or whatever. I applaud you for getting them, because like I'm looking at them like, I lit up. I was like, oh wow! Like his Starscream on his throne. His throne he got to enjoy for a full 2 seconds, but like in a cape and a crown, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And then
that crown comes off too.
The crown comes off.
Yes.
So somebody gets to step on it.
Yes.
Yes.
And of course, these are not for playing with. These are for display only.
Oh, still.
Although as soon as I handed it to you, you were like transforming Prowl back into
I was.
Yeah.
What is he, a Dotson?
Yeah, he was a Dotson.
Yes,
yes. And then like there was a counterpart to Prowl that was like another car, like it wasn't a cop like Prowl is.
Oh yeah, that's how they save money on tooling. They would just paint them different or use different color plastic.
Exactly, like Sideswipe in red, or Ratchet and Ironhide. They were the same vehicle, yeah. And then like then the Jets were the same thing.
Yes,
just different colors, and like one of them they changed the wings a little. That's it. And like, but it's this. I was like, hey, you'll buy all of them. If there's 7 of them, you'll buy all 7 just because they're different characters.
I mean, hats off to the writers of the TV shows.
Yes.
For this one and G.I. Joe, especially. The He-Man series, He-Man actually got everything started because I think He-Man was the first one that was a toy line first.
Yeah.
Before they started doing the TV show.
Absolutely.
And that's what kicked off everything else. But He-Man, I can't go back and watch. It is... It's unwatchable as an adult, which is a shame. Although Alan Oppenheimer as Skeletor is being spoofed to this day
as a meme that tells you unpleasant truths.
Yes,
I love that. I love that. Until we meet again, yeah. He-Man.
And he loves doing the voice too. That's the best part about him.
Yes,
people go up to him and ask him to say something as Skeletor, and he is all too ready to accommodate them.
But G.I. Joe and the Transformers, G.I. Joe, of course, the writers worked in terrorism and fighting against terrorism and being a true patriot.
They did.
As an American. The Transformers is a warning on...
It's environmental.
Environmental. That's the word I was looking for. Yes, this is an environmental warning.
Yeah, Decepticons are there kind of depleting the planet's resources to... create energon for themselves, sort of power themselves up and keep themselves running, but also to, I guess, sort of upgrade themselves.
But yeah, at the cost of the planet and the Autobots are trying to save it.
But you're not going to want to buy the toys if the story sucks.
No,
yeah, of course.
I mean, how many failed cartoons that they had that they tried to sell as toys?
Wheeled Warriors. Yes. That was like, I don't even know what this is about. Like, what was it? Mask? Remember Mask?
Yeah.
Mask was kind of cool, but it came a little bit too late.
Came a little too late, but like the story was just not as engaging.
The toys were awesome, but the show just didn't carry it.
Yeah.
They couldn't tell the story. What else we had? We had Mask. We had
Inhumanoids.
Spiral Zone, really Pole Position.
Brave Star.
Brave Star and his horse 3030. Yeah. That one had an interesting hook to it because you could buy the guns and you could shoot the screen, and supposedly you were supposed to get some sort of reaction from the screen when you shot the screen.
Oh, that was Captain Power. Captain Power's one where it had that thing at the screen and you could shoot it and they could shoot back, and like your like little plane would respond to it and eject out.
They had the same thing for Brave Star.
They did?
Yeah, because you get that double-ended gun.
Oh, that's right. Marshall Brave Star. Is he Native American? He might be. We're not going to say because we want you to buy the toy. But like it was like Marshall Brave Star, that horse, and then like the big bad was basically like it's not Skeletor if he's got a mustache and a hat.
Yes.
But like it was basically Skeletor.
And then there was Cops.
I remember that. It's crime fighting time.
The COPS
with bulletproof vests as the chief.
Well, they had the Silverhawks.
Yeah, I remember Silverhawks.
Now, Silverhawks was an interesting show. I like to watch that one after school, but I never bought any of the toys.
The toys were made out of that plastic that's so brittle because it's that silver shiny plastic. Yeah. But that type of stuff is brittle because, like, I remember when they made the DC Heroes like toy line of action figures like Superman and Lex Luthor. Well, they had Brainiac, and Brainiac, you push his arm down and his leg kicks. Well, since he was made out of that brittle plastic, about the 4th time you push his arm down to kick that leg out, his arm broke off.
Yeah.
And so, yes, Silverhawks are made out of the same type of stuff.
That's probably why they didn't pick up. But the storyline on that one was really good.
Yeah.
And then you had Thundercats.
Now, Thundercats went gangbusters.
Yes. It was the next big thing after Transformers.
Yes, it was.
And then after that, they had Ninja Turtles. but
That's
I was
right.
too
Oh,
old for
man.
Ninja Turtles when they came.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, I was. Ninja Turtles were just silly to me. Yeah, like I've got people around me that loved the Ninja Turtles. I just never got it. Yes. But
I mean, the show was goofy, but it was for kids.
It
But
was.
you look at the comic books, and
the
like,
comic books
oh
were
my
very
God,
violent.
yes.
Yeah. I remember that. First of all, in the comics, they all had the same color bandana and stuff on. They didn't.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the D and M, and Shredder appears and they basically kick his butt all over the place. Yeah. Like
They
basically
kill him early in the comics. They kill him pretty early.
Straight up, and I remember they picked up his gauntlet, picked it up and just threw it behind him as they walked off. I'm like, okay, that went a little different than they try to imply that it would in movies and TV shows.
But back to the Transformers.
I know, right?
This is a common thing that we throw on here. Is like we'll go on a tirade and then we'll go like, oh, back to what we were originally supposed to be talking about.
Absolutely.
But all of that's relevant. That was what we saw in Stolen Cable. This is the experience that we had when we were younger. I think the stories were good.
I think so too.
I think, and being able to buy the toys that go along with the stories. If the stories weren't good, we didn't buy the toys. And you learned a lot from them. They always had a moral to the story. It wasn't just mindless shooting and stuff like that. I mean, you had that part of it, but it was a lot of like, don't betray your friends. And I think Starscream had a deal where he was a scientist to begin with, and then he came to the planet with Skyfire, I think. And they were both scientists, but Starscream decided when the war kicked out that he wanted to be the ruler.
Yes.
And he betrayed his friend and left him in ice here on the planet.
Absolutely. There's also that one episode of the Transformers where they were able to get Sparkplug and put him in a robot body, his mind. And when he did, he became very confused, and Decepticons convinced them that Optimus Prime's keeping him down. And he actually tried to kill Optimus Prime. And they basically were talking about how it was basically a take on mental health, because they're saying like his situation was affecting his mental health. You don't need to be a robot. You're fine who you were. That whole thing of like, it was like, oh, okay, so this was their way to take on the mental health thing. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, Spike, for anybody that doesn't know, Spike is the Sam Witwicky of the original Transformers series. He's the human boy character that you're supposed to be able to relate to as a little kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which he's grown up in the Transformers movie.
Yes.
He's an adult because he's about our age.
Yeah.
And he's got a little boy of his own called Daniel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which the Transformers just totally disregard. They abandoned that kid several times.
Many times.
And then when they put him in a robot suit.
Then they put him in a mech suit, and they're just like, yeah, he's good now.
Yeah. They're all, just transform. You can just kind of just do it.
Just transform. Like you're supposed to just automatically know how to do all this stuff.
So adorable.
So they had the junk planet that they have a battle. They get separated. So Hot Rod and Cup go to the planet with the Quintessons, which we find out in later episodes are the actual creators of the Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they're stuck on that planet, and then everybody else gets stuck on the junk planet. God, what was the name of the planet?
I can't remember the name of the planet, but I just remember that the Rekgar was the name of the character.
Yeah, the Junkions.
Yeah, the Junkions.
And they talked TV.
Yeah, they recite. It was Eric Idle doing the voice of Monty Python. Eric Idle and Monty Python, and then everything they said was piecemeal from what they hear on TV. I remember this one time they were like, "It's a new sensation." Yuck, yuck, yuck. Like it was. I was like, well, yuck, got me. I laughed so hard. Well, operators are standing by.
That was supposed to be a take of the TV culture and how we were doing brain rot and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And as adults, what was the first thing we did as adults? We started rejecting all that, and we went into the internet to avoid the commercials that hit us all the time.
Yeah.
And what happened? It followed us to the internet.
Yeah.
It's straight up, and now we see more commercials than we could ever want to see. Because,
big time.
I mean, we don't get to experience at least the same commercials, so we can make fun of them and all understand what we're talking about. We all get hit with different commercials.
Yeah. Like, read the book.
Yes.
We used to all see all the same commercials, so we'd always be able to make fun of them. But
look,
now,
honey, 3-hour balloon rides. 3 hours? What about my diarrhea? Yeah. See,
I'm falling falling and I can't get up.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, we used to laugh so hard at that, and then now I'm not even as old as that woman was, and I get down on the ground, I can't get up.
Yeah, no, I do I'm about to fall dance more often than I'd like to admit, and if I do fall down, I don't get up as gracefully as I used to.
Oh.
I'm that guy that has to get on all fours first to get up. Yeah, and it just doesn't look good.
There are so many ads out there now, and so many different products, and so many different people that are trying to sell something, and that you've got ads that are they track all your internet usage and everything else.
Yes.
So the ads are geared like specifically to you, so you can't even laugh at the same ads as everyone else because they don't like. What are you even talking about? Because they're not getting the same ads you are.
And I'm afraid to buy online from new places because
you don't know if it's a scam.
Well, and also like you're getting inundated with their ads afterwards. Like I bought one time, and that was like about a year and a half ago. I have been every other YouTube video goes into an ad, and I'm like, I literally did business with you already, and you're now trying to advertise it to me so hard. I was like, now I don't want to do business with you anymore because I'm tired of you. We don't all get to experience things in a collective like we used to.
All right. Well, I got a question for you guys. If we're ever meet up with aliens, what is the proper greeting?
Oh, if Retgar said it, what was it?
No, it was Hot Rod. Cup told him.
Told him, yeah.
Va weep Granah weep Nini bomb.
Yeah, ba weep Granah weep Nini bomb.
Nini bomb, yeah.
It's supposed to be the universal greeting. So anybody listening,
yes,
you can always tell if run into aliens, somebody we've never encountered before. The universal greeting is ba weep Granah weep Nini bomb, and then you're supposed to give them an Energon.
A little Energon like
candy or whatever.
Yeah. I remember that, and I also remember between that and the Sharkticons, because I remember that's Grimlock, like the Sharkticons, they just didn't want to get killed by Grimlock, and then so they turned them on to that other guy, but that judge, guilty or innocent. Innocent. Feed them to the Sharkticons. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get that. What did they do if they were guilty then?
Feed them to the Sharkticons.
It's funny how they arrive to an innocent guilt just to show you that they don't care.
Spare me this mockery of justice.
Yeah. Come on, kid. Yeah, then they'll watch one killed and you hear him screaming in agony and like, it's not the ending I'd want, kid. I was like, yeah.
The movie was hardcore.
It was.
Beginning to end.
Yeah.
God, and you remember when they got into the fight with the Sharkticons at the end? It was like, well, you can at least, mess all these guys up and give them a big repair bill because we're just not going to go out like a bunch of pucks. And then Hot Rod hits that one right in the face and shatters all of his teeth.
Yes. And then Grimlock actually scratches one of the face in his head. His face.
Oh, yeah, he comes completely apart.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. Wow.
Well, I mean, let's look at the design of Unicron. The planet design was kind of cool. And he immediately devours a smaller planet at the beginning of the film. Yeah. And then he's finally through with Megatron, or Galvatron as he is later on in the film. He was like, well, I'm just going to eat your planet now.
Yeah.
And then he transforms, because Cybertron is a much larger planet, into a robot figure.
Yeah.
And he looks epic. He's got like bat wings where the rings have transformed into the thing. He's got horns on him.
And he's got a mustache.
Yeah.
And goatee.
Yes. I mean, he was menacing through the whole thing.
But like when he turned into he has like kind of like bird feet, as far as they got talons on his feet. And I'm like, God, he looks so cool.
Yes, and then what does he immediately do? You see him swipe a hand right over and take a big chunk out of the planet.
Yes, like it's a big, huge wedding cake that he just can scoop a slice out of. I remember that because he's like, now watch me destroy your world.
Is it Cybertron or is it a cake?
Right, is it cake? Yeah.
That's great.
It's cake.
It's both.
Yeah, straight up. I also remember when he ate Galvatron. And Galvatron had the Matrix leadership chained to the outside of him like a big necklace, like he's a rapper.
Like he's Flavor Flav.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, he was fixing to drop the hottest album of that year and got swallowed instead.
Exactly. Yeah, your mixtape ain't coming out anytime soon.
Well, he was all in on beating up Unicron there, and until Hot Rod showed up, and it's like, oh, we're like it or not, we're allies now because we've got the common enemy. And then Unicron hit him up. It's like, you're still under my control. Then we get this epic fight and the touch.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how awesome those the touch and dare were.
Yes.
They were used twice in the movie.
Yes.
Both
God.
songs were used twice.
Come on, kid, let's get out of here.
You never hear that. That doesn't happen in movies.
Yeah.
They don't ever use songs twice. These
Yeah.
songs were so bad, so awesome that
They just
They
show
use
up and you're
them
okay with it. Like, come on, kid, let's clean house. Dun, dun, dun. Didn't believe you. Like, okay, yeah. Whatever they're doing now is like, it doesn't matter that song's playing. Like, it's like, okay, the stuff like, why didn't you do that earlier? You could have done that earlier. Oh, no, it doesn't matter. We're going to do it now, and it's going to take care of everything.
If you're feeling a little pudgy or whatever, and you want to try to get back into shape, put on the Transformers soundtrack. In 2 weeks, you'll be
You'll be
pumped.
jacked. Yeah,
That's what you did, isn't it?
Do
you
your own
were telling
montage
me
music.
I was talking to Sinister. He said he's trying to get into shape for work, and he's been watching the movies while on the treadmill. And then
right.
you were prepping for this one, and you were like,
It's like, yeah.
So before you know you're watching the whole movie, you're still on the treadmill. You're like,
time to play that again.
That's right.
Yeah.
I had the soundtrack as a kid.
me too.
You couldn't not have this.
You could
this
not
album.
have the
You,
soundtrack.
you could not drive long distances
That's
at
right.
very high speeds without playing the Transformers soundtrack.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yes, definitely play it if you're working out, but try not to play it if you're driving, because
Yes.
you will reach 120 miles an hour before you realize it.
Yes, and let's let that be the lesson for this episode.
Yes.
The Transformers are cool. The soundtrack is awesome. Just keep your foot off the pedal when going down the highway playing it, because I should have had a speeding ticket of epic proportion back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you played that song, it doesn't matter. Yours automatic, like, yeah, like hunger, want it so bad I can't take. And here's the thing: if it was in any other movie and out of context, quit turning that crap off. But it was this one, so you're like, no, this is cool. No, you don't understand. This is awesome. That's why we were talking about Boogie Nights made us so mad. But yes, be careful playing this while driving.
Yeah.
If you get pulled over, let's hope the cop that pulled you over is Gen X and they remember the movie.
It'll be like, all right, cool.
All right.
I never got it. I mean, I thought the soundtrack was awesome, but you always got the side eye from people if you were playing it, that if they weren't a part of your friend group, they're like, is this from the Transformers movie?
It sure is.
Yes, it is. Yes, I wear that with pride.
I do.
That's right.
But seriously, people, drive safe out there. I am your host, Uncle Patches.
I'm Sinister Cinema.
I'm Brant Bumpers, and it's been a huge honor being on these podcasts.
It's
with
been
you.
a blast, man.
It's been
fun.
a huge honor to have you on here, and I thank you for hanging out for 3 episodes.
Oh, yes.
It's great.
We are going to hit you up later on, and what was it, the thing you wanted to do?
Yes.
We'll have to get a whole new cake for that one.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, right now we're at almost an hour and 30 minutes for this episode. I may cut it down a little bit, but this is one of my most favorite films of all time, especially
Yes.
from a kid.
Oh, yeah.
I think it deserves every bit of the conversation that we had here.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to what we saw on Stolen Cable, Death and Metal, the Transformers the Movie.